Ever wonder if, like, everyday stuff we use has, like, secret powers? I mean, take toothpaste. Yeah.
Toothpaste.
Like, what if I told you it could, like, revolutionize healthcare?
Really?
Seriously. With, get this, edible electronics.
No way. Edible electronics. From toothpaste.
Okay, you've got to tell me more about this. What have you found?
So get this. We're diving into this research paper, and get this. They found a way to make edible transistors.
Wait, hold on. Edible transistors, like ones you can actually eat.
Yep. And the ingredient they used, it's mind-blowing. It's in toothpaste.
You're kidding. So we've been brushing our teeth with the future of electronics this whole time.
Pretty much. But before we, go too far, can you, give us a quick rundown on why we should even care about eating electronics in the first place?
Okay, so imagine swallowing a tiny sensor, and it gives you real-time feedback on how your gut's doing. No more invasive procedures, just eat the tech and get the info.
Okay. That's kind of amazing. But, imagine making these tiny edible gadgets must come with some unique challenges, right? Oh, absolutely. The biggest one, finding materials that are safe to eat, obviously, but can also, actually function as part of an electronic device. It's not like we can just use anything found in your pantry.
Right, safety first.
Yeah.
So how did these researchers crack the code? Did they invent some, crazy space-age material?
Well, here's the thing. They didn't. Instead of some sci-fi solution, they turned to a substance that's already deemed safe for us to ingest. It's called copper-2 phthalocyanine.
Whoa. Try saying that 3 times fast.
Right, but it's more commonly known as CuPc, and it's a common blue pigment used in, you guessed it, toothpaste.
Hold up. You mean to tell me this, potential game changer for edible electronics has been in our toothpaste all along?
Yep, and get this, it's been used in toothpaste for, over 15 years with no reported side effects.
Okay, that's actually really reassuring, especially if we're talking about actually eating it. But how much of this CuPc stuff are we even exposed to when we brush our teeth?
That's the million-dollar question, right? They wanted to figure out exactly how much CuPc we might be ingesting just through, normal everyday toothpaste use.
Did they, have people brushing their teeth in a lab somewhere all hooked up to monitors?
Well, not exactly. They actually used existing clinical studies on, and this is interesting, accidental toothpaste ingestion.
Accidental.
Kids swallowing a bit while brushing. Apparently, there's tons of data on that sort of thing.
Makes sense. Kids and toothpaste, a classic combo. But I guess accidentally swallowing toothpaste isn't exactly the same as, intentionally using it for edible electronics, right?
Right. The point wasn't to replicate accidental doses, but this data gave them a baseline, to understand what level of CuPc exposure is already considered safe.
So they knew how much CuPc might be okay in, a worst-case scenario. Then what? What was the next step?
Well, they also wanted to measure how much CuPc actually stays on our teeth after we're done brushing and rinsing, the stuff we might ingest gradually. So they designed this really cool experiment. They used real human teeth.
Okay, now we're talking. Tell me they brushed these teeth with toothpaste.
Oh, they did. They brushed the teeth just like you would in the morning, then rinsed and analyzed how much of the pigment was left behind.
Spill the tea. What did they find?
Get this. A significant amount, we're talking 0.5% of the toothpaste weight, stuck around on the teeth even after rinsing.
Wow. So, all that talk about long-lasting freshness isn't just marketing hype.
Right. It turns out we might be ingesting way more CuPc than we thought, which honestly further supports its safety for edible electronics.
Okay, so we've established CuPc is safe, it's already in something we use every day, and we're even ingesting it without realizing it. But how do you go from, a blue pigment to an actual working transistor? That seems like a huge leap.
It is a big jump, for sure. And that's where the science gets really cool. To get it, we need to, break down how a transistor actually works. Think of it as a tiny gate controlling electricity flow. CuPc, with its unique structure, can actually be, shaped to create this gate, basically turning it into a microscopic on-off switch.
So they're, using this pigment as a building block to make teeny tiny circuits. But did it actually work? Could they make real transistors out of this CuPc stuff?
Not only did it work, but the results, they were way more impressive than anyone expected. We're talking fully functional, edible transistors made with CuPc, and the performance, it was remarkable.
Remarkable how? What made these CuPc transistors so special?
Well, they were super stable. We're talking these edible transistors could last for a year in storage.
A year? Seriously? I mean, we are talking about something that's designed to be, digestible.
Yeah, exactly. Durability is key, right? Especially if you want these things to actually work inside the body and not just, fall apart.
Makes sense. What about, their performance? Anything else stand out?
So think about it. For any device going inside the human body, voltage is a big deal. We don't want to be running high voltage currents through people. That's where these CuPc transistors really shine. They can operate on really low voltage, way safer.
Okay, so they're edible, they're stable, they're energy efficient. Sounds like they've got it all.
Pretty much. Oh, and one more cool thing. So to make one of these transistors, it only takes a tiny amount of CuPcs, like 80 nanograms.
Nanograms, how small is that?
Super tiny. I mean, way, way less than what you're already ingesting in your toothpaste, which means we could make a ton of these transistors with just a little bit of material.
So we're not going to have a global toothpaste shortage because of these things.
No, definitely not. But, okay, let's zoom out for a second. What does this mean in the grand scheme of things? Like, what could edible electronics do for healthcare?
Yeah, that's what I'm curious about. What kind of crazy sci-fi applications are we talking about here?
Well, the possibilities are huge. But let's start with healthcare, since that's where this tech could have the biggest impact in the near future. Imagine this. You swallow a tiny sensor, and it travels through your digestive system, sending back real-time data about your gut microbiome.
Like a tiny little submarine exploring your intestines.
Exactly. We could see exactly how our bodies process food, detect problems early on. We could even personalize diets based on like what your gut is telling you.
No more guessing games or invasive procedures, just real-time data from the inside out. That's wild. What about applications beyond healthcare? What else are you excited about?
Yeah, healthcare is huge, but I bet there are other cool uses for this stuff.
Oh, totally. Think about like food packaging.
Okay.
Imagine sensors right in the packaging. That could tell if food's actually gone bad.
No more, like sniffing that old milk in the fridge, hoping for the best.
Exactly. We could cut down on food waste, make things safer, even track how fresh stuff is in the whole, like, supply chain.
Oh, yeah?
And that's just one thing. Really, the only limit for edible electronics is, like, what we can imagine. This whole thing really makes you see the world differently. It's like these hidden possibilities were always there, just waiting to be found.
That's the beauty of science, right? Looking at the everyday with fresh eyes and being like, wait, what if?
This deep dive has definitely done that for me. It's kind of mind-blowing to think the future of tech could be hiding in plain sight, even in something as simple as toothpaste.
And that brings us to our final thought for you today. If we can do all this with a pigment from toothpaste, what other everyday things have we been overlooking?
It's like a scavenger hunt for the future. What totally normal stuff in our homes could be the key to some crazy breakthrough.
Exactly. So keep those eyes peeled and those minds curious. You never know what you might find.
That's all the time we have for today's deep dive. Hope you enjoyed exploring edible electronics with us and learned something new about the hidden potential of, well, everything. Until next time, stay curious.